Hi guys, Monroe Steele here from Fashion Steele NYC, and welcome back to my channel. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I am here in Durham, North Carolina, where I'm from. It's the beginning of the year, and a lot of you just started like following me in 2019. So I thought I would do a little get ready with me and also tell you guys more about me, more facts, more commonly asked questions while I do my makeup today. I don't know why I'm out of breath. I literally just walked from the kitchen to the stairs. Go ahead and get started. One fact, I already told you guys that I was born and raised here in Durham, North Carolina. That's where my family is from. I need to get my things together. It's a lot, so give me just a moment. Sorry if there's an echo because I am in the bathroom. I'm here at my mom's for Christmas break, heading to Miami soon. And I love it here. Like, I love the nature and the quiet. Already fire. But yes, I love, wow, that is very loud. Okay, so let's really, of course, anytime I start to record, the sounds of New York come alive. The sounds of New York are the sound of music. But it's also still, you know, a ton of things to do, and my whole family is here. I don't have really any family in the city. Just using a little bit of Pixie Beauty Vitamin C Tonic. You guys know I've been using this to help with my hyperpigmentation, and it's been helping a lot. I absolutely love it. I'm just putting some on with my Chanel cotton wipes. And if anyone is interested, this top is Uniqlo. It's their Heat Tech tops, and they have them in a ton of colors. They're kind of stretchy. I'll put a link down below to all of these things if you guys are interested. I am 35 years old, an 80s baby. I know a lot of people think I'm much like younger, but no. In fact, this year, well, I'll be 36 this year in May. I'm a Taurus. I love Tauruses. Like, I have a lot of Taurus friends. Oddly enough, I've never dated a Taurus man. I feel like it would just be too much. I don't even really know like how they differ from Taurus women. Stand up, all of my Tauruses, we're the best. We're definitely like very loyal, very sensitive. I'm actually very sensitive. I mean, I try not to take things personally because I know the only opinion that matters is my opinion, or what I think about myself, not what anyone else thinks of me. And I think sometimes like being in the public eye can make people feel like they know you and that their opinions of you are important. By the way, I just used a little of the Guerlain Youth Watery Oil over my Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream Moisturizer. I almost quit YouTube like when I very first started again this year, and I had to call my girl Kelly and be like, girl, how do you handle like people who just leave like real rude comments, or comments where it feels like they think they know you so they can say anything to you just because they watch your videos? She told me to block certain words so that if I got any comments that contain those words, I wouldn't get them, and just to learn to like not read comments. Like, I used to have my YouTube comments sent to my email so that I can respond to them fast. I definitely had to cut those comments off because if I got a really rude comment during the day, it would just ruin my day. So yeah, I'm really kind of sensitive, even though it might not seem like I'm very in touch with my emotions and feelings or whatever. So that was some really great advice. So I have block words all my YouTube comments, and if anyone uses a word that like I know is going to pertain to something that's going to trigger me, I never even see the comment. If you're wondering why a comment didn't show up, that's why. I would encourage anyone who has a YouTube channel to do the same thing, because people start to look at you like you're like a star or like someone famous, and it kind of takes the humanity out of you. I think just people just forget to be kind. I'm not a very confrontational person. I don't talk shit about people. Like, I could care less. I'm probably a little too nice is what Rose would say. Rose is my friend and photographer, Dadu Chic. She has her own YouTube channel as well, but she says that I give people too many chances. I see the best in everyone until people prove me wrong. Now I'm going to use a little bit of the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. You guys know I love the NARS Sheer Glow foundation, and I mix the Bahia and Maceo, and then I'm going to use my Artis brush. So that's how I get by in this YouTube world. It can be pretty hard. You have to have a tough skin. People always like to describe their criticism as constructive, but most of it isn't. Most of it is like, well, what do I do with this information type of criticism. And people forget sometimes that you're just a person at the other end. So I hope that comes out. My mom's gonna kill me. I get a lot of questions about how I got started blogging. I started my blog in October of 2010, and a blog is a website basically. So I would write blog posts, post pictures on there, just anything I wanted to talk about I would put on my blog, and I've been blogging ever since. I've also had a YouTube channel for as long as I've had my blog, but I wasn't really updating it regularly until like maybe the last 2 years. It's almost kind of imperative to have a YouTube and a blog these days, because more people connect to video, which is why Instagram introduced Insta stories. I used to be very shy in front of the camera. Like, if you go way back on my blog, you'll see that I only shot like around my neighborhood, and I would do it early in the morning where no one was around, where no one could see me, because I was just kind of shy about it. And it also felt kind of narcissistic. But I mean, you have to have some level of narcissism to take a million photos of yourself, but that's like today's society, I guess, you know. I used to also be too shy to do like Insta stories and things like in public. I just started doing that perhaps like this year or the end of last year. I would never pull my phone out and do this in public. I used to feel so weird doing it, and I used to watch Rose's Instagram stories every morning when she would walk to work and have her phone out talking to us, and I'd be like, dang, why can't I like do that? Slowly I started to make myself do it, and you know what actually helped me feel like less insecure or less weird about it? Starting to vlog. Because now, I mean, you have to whip your camera out in order to get the content that you need to make the videos. And so holding my vlog camera out in public really kind of helped me with doing Insta stories out in public as well. I still don't do it out in public a lot unless it's like at an event or something. If you guys have noticed, I do most of my stories at events and at home. Good afternoon, Insta stories, and happy Monday. Happy start to your week, guys. It's Monday, so there is a new blog post up on Fashion Still NYC. And plus I'm like real type A and a planner. And so I like to like have all of my content set up, like things I need to unbox and everything like at home, and that's just easier for me. So I just use some of the Laura Mercier translucent powder under my eye and kind of on my forehead. I don't even know what kind of look I'm going for today, but we'll see, y'all. One of the great things that's like really helped me out in the year 2019 is the block button. I actually block and delete, and I actually wrote a whole blog post about this, but it's like 7 ways to know when to hit that block button. And like, y'all, the block button has been, I am the block queen. I will block anyone for any reason that gets my blood pressure up. Like, if I feel like I go in a fight or flight mode when I like read a comment or see something that someone sent me or something, I immediately block that person. And I feel like that has really helped me this year with my sanity. I used to worry that like yeah, I would experience some backlash, and I have, but my sanity is worth more than any like backlash I could ever receive. It's kind of imperative for you to set the tone for your space. This is your space, especially if it's like your blog or website. You actually own that space. One of the people I follow and admire, her name is Accidental Icon. I went to like a little event where she was at, and someone asked her how does she deal with like negative comments and things, and she said that you should set the tone, like let people know what you will and won't accept. And ever since I heard that, I've like really stuck to that. It's kind of ingrained, and it's helped me a lot. I just used a little bit of Laura Mercier Translucent and Medium Deep. It's kind of like a highlight. I'm not even sure why I put my highlight on first, but there you have it. I started blogging in 2010 while I was working my first PT job. So a lot of you don't know that I have a doctorate degree in physical therapy. I went to NYU University, Steinhardt School of Education for, was it 3.5 years? And I got my doctorate degree in physical therapy, one of the hardest things ever done. School was actually really easy. I've never had a problem with like school and grades. I've always been like a good student and everything and made good grades, but I was living in the city by myself, and I didn't have any like friends or family when I first moved to New York from North Carolina to go to grad school. And I made a lot of my friends while working at Forever 21 in Union Square. The faculty didn't want us to have jobs. They thought the program was already too hard, but I didn't have any financial help. My parents weren't paying for my education. I was getting like loans and scholarships and such. And so when my advisor found out I had a job, she was furious. Like, she literally called me in her office and was like, you're not allowed to have a job. And I'm like, well, I don't have any money. I mean, I know all these other students, you know, have people that can pay for their education, but I'm paying $100,000 a year with loans and scholarships. Unless you would like me to sleep here inside of the school, I'm gonna need a job. And so once I told them that, they somehow found me some extra scholarship money. I still kept a job, I just didn't tell them. Y'all, I was so broke in grad school. I lived in a dorm my first year, off campus. I think my class had 42 people in it. Out of the 42 people, I was the only black student. But there was a girl 2 classes ahead of me who was also black, who befriended me, and without her, I don't think I would have gotten through school. She literally like made me her friend, and she lived in Harlem. Every time her family had like a Christmas dinner or a holiday party or anything where I couldn't make it home, she would invite me, and I just kind of became a part of her family. She was amazing, and she also had a car, so we used to go out. Literally, we would go out on weeknights and then like stay out all night, get like 2 hours of sleep, and go to class in the morning. I use the Sephora I Love palette in Jewel Tone, and then I just use my favorite little orange color that I use a lot. I use the Artiste brush, the tiny one, to apply it. And then in the corner of my eye, I'm using the Laura Mercier Rose Gold Caviar Stick Eye Color. Anywho, like I said, I was broke in grad school, so I did a lot of thrift shopping, and I like learned all of the best thrift shops in New York. I mean, I've always been into fashion, but that's kind of where I got the zest for it, in New York. A few people ask me if I don't like liquid liner, and I don't. And I never put eyeliner above like my eyelid. It's just not my style. I just don't prefer it. I never do cat eyes or anything like that. I actually got this in a gift bag, but this is 24 Hour Eye Define eyeliner by RK by Kiss, and my eyes are super sensitive too, so with the help of like my aunts and my parents, when they could help out, like I made it through. Lord knows it was one of the hardest things I ever did. So I graduated with my doctorate from NYU. They only give you like 1 year of grad school housing. So after my first year, I moved to Harlem. Like, I wanted to be where the black people were, let's be honest, and where I felt more like at home. So when it was time for me to start looking for an apartment after my first year of grad school, I knew I was moving to Harlem. and I found like a great little spot, and I lived there for several years. The apartment that I live in now, I used to walk past the building every day to get to the train, and I was like, oh, it's so cool, like I would love to live in there. And it was empty. Even though it was high up, you could see that it was empty. Like, I have a talent for scouting out empty apartments. Like, I do. I can walk around New York and be like, that one's empty, that was empty, simply by like looking in the windows. And it's how I help my friends find apartments. And really, if you want to find an apartment in New York City, that's what you do. You just go and walk around the neighborhood. Anywho, I just used a little boy brow by Glossier. So that is how I found that apartment. It was closed for a long time, my building. And then I saw some workers like going in, and I was like, oh my God, are you guys opening this building? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh snap, can I come in? And they were like, sure. So I went in and I looked at every single apartment, and I'm so glad they let me do that. And so then I went over to the rental office and I said, hey, like, I want to live here, but I still have a lease. I still have 2 months on my lease. And they were like, well, you know, fill out the paperwork. So I filled out the paperwork, and literally like a couple days later, I got a call saying that I got the apartment rent stabilized. I remember my boyfriend at the time was like, oh, you shouldn't like do it because you're gonna have to pay 2 rents. But I just knew I had to live in that apartment, the apartment I live in now. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, it's worth it. Luckily, my old apartment is only 2 blocks away from where I live now, so I just kind of steadily moved things over the next like month or so myself, and then I got some movers to help me with the big things. But I was so broke during those 2 months because I was like paying 2 rents, but it was totally worth it because I got the apartment of my dreams. I got to choose which apartment I wanted in the building, and then I actually lived in the building by myself because nobody else moved in for like 3 months. I used to go and sit in the other apartments, the other empty apartments, and like do work. So I have amazing luck. Anything I kind of like enter to win, I always win. And I don't know if that's a mindset thing or what, but anything I've ever really put my mind to and wanted to do, I've done it. I don't know if it's just thinking that way or if it's luck or just destiny, but it's just really manifestation, I think. And then thinking that whatever you want is already yours. I think I mentioned that video to you guys in another video, the Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. I mean, I feel like I was already thinking those things, but I hadn't really put it into practice. The only thing I can't win is the lottery. And I should stop saying that and start thinking that I could win. And maybe I'll win that too. For my lashes, I've been using the Tarte Opening Act Primer. And you guys, this stuff is amazing. I learned about it from watching the Vogue Get Ready With Me with Tracy Ellis Ross. I did pull some of my eyelashes out yesterday though. That's another thing. Sometimes I have this bad habit of pulling out my eyelashes. You see how crazy those eyelashes are? Some of them try to grow out of the same hole and it hurts. It like makes a little bump. And so I have to find which one is like causing the pain, and I pull it out, but I end up pulling out like a few before I find the one that's causing the pain. So yeah, now I have like a little empty space there because I pulled out maybe like 4 or 5 lashes yesterday. What are you gonna do? Using NARS Climax, you can kind of see the difference, and the Tarte really makes the eyelash pop. I really love that primer. I would have never thought to use primer if it wasn't for watching that video with Tracy Ellis Ross. So when I was in high school, I was named class clown for superlatives. In middle school, I was best dressed. And in the best dressed picture, I'm wearing some green bell bottoms. Green bell bottoms that were my mom's. But I've always been funny. I love making people laugh. It gives me immense pleasure being able to make someone laugh. I think it's the highest gift you can give. Laughter is the best medicine. I do believe in a bonnet life. I know a lot of people think I don't wrap my hair up like my natural hair when I go to sleep, but I do. I just don't show y'all that because y'all don't need to see that, especially if you're a sister. You already know that I go to sleep with a headscarf. Does it stay on? No. This is my hair in its natural state. I know someone in the comments is gonna say, oh my God, Monroe, your hair is so cute. You should wear it out more often. I mean, if you want to come and do it for me, like, it's basically like washing your face with dirt. I don't know if that's what I want to say. I definitely want to say something else. I bought the muscle shirt. Y'all, this shirt was $75. If you can't make me laugh, we can't be friends. And also, if you can't make me laugh, I can't date you. Doesn't that look like so weird, like the white? Don't worry, it usually just is only white for a minute and then it kind of fades. Anywho, a lot of you said that if like this YouTube and influencer thing doesn't work out, that I should go into comedy. And clearly I've always been into clothes too, since I got best dressed in middle school. It's fun that like on YouTube and in my blog posts, I get to like show my love for both of those things. All right, I think the eyes are done. Let's see what I'm gonna use for blush. Probably gonna use my same favorite NARS Wanted 2 palette. You guys have seen me do the same makeup look over and over, I'm sorry. But at least you get to learn a little more about me. Also, while I was in high school, I was on the varsity cheerleading squad. Mind you, I was not on the junior varsity squad. I decided I wanted to be a cheerleader my junior year in high school, and so I tried out. Mind you, everyone who was already on the squad, they were also on the junior squad, which is freshman and sophomore. My dad used to help me do my herkies and stuff in the backyard, but I actually made the team, but there was only a limited number of people who could be on the squad, and so they bumped the girl who was actually the captain of the junior squad, who was trying out for the senior squad, and I took her spot, and she hated me after that. It wasn't my fault. I did cheer in middle school as well, but I got kicked off the cheerleading squad for getting in a fight. I actually fought someone in my cheerleading uniform, but to my defense, she was bullying me. I was bullied so bad, y'all, when I was in middle school and high school. That's probably why I'm like so sensitive and quick to like cut anything off that like gets my blood pressure up. Middle school was the worst time in my life, I think. It was so bad I didn't want to go to school. I was bullied so bad for my gap. I don't know, I think girls just were, you know, jealous and catty, and you know how teenage girls are, but they were horrible. And they would write the nastiest, meanest things about me in permanent marker in the bathroom stalls. And I would just go in there and I would see it and I would cry every day. They would have to come and paint the stalls every day. Like the painters knew me by name, because I would have to go and tell the custodian, oh, there's something new. He'd be like, oh, it's okay, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna put the sign up. I'm gonna paint it over for you. And this went on for years. And like I would just go home and cry to my mom, and my mom would just be like, oh, you know, it'll pass and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't until I beat somebody up that people left me alone. And I didn't start the fight. I went to the principal before we ever even fought and was like, these girls are bullying me. Like I'm getting to my wit's end. And so they knew that I was being bullied. But then the girl just came up to me one day and punched me so hard. I've never been punched like that in my life, y'all. Right between the eyes. And she was real tall too. Like she was the tallest girl in our school. She was maybe like 6'2". Should I do brown? I feel like I want to do brown. So this is the Laura Mercier Chocolate Divine Lipstick. Thank God I have a little brother who I fought with pretty regularly. I fought her in my cheerleading uniform. And all I remember is my principal picking me up and carrying me away. The funny thing is, after that fight, I got a new nickname. I was called Holyfield for a whole year, and nobody ever messed with me after that again. And I mean, it's sad that it took me having to physically fight someone, but all that pent up anger and sadness from being bullied for years just kind of came out all over her. We made up after that because we both wanted to go on a Disneyland field trip. I fought a lot in middle school. I fought people who would pick on my little brother. I fought boys. I've had my jaw broken in a fight. But also I was kind of a tomboy when I was in middle school too. I haven't been in a fight in a while, but I probably still got it. I don't think violence is ever the answer. In that case, I feel like it saved my life, honestly. There were times where I didn't want to live because I was being bullied so bad. And I got called buckwheat a lot because of my teeth. I'll never get my teeth fixed. I know I've gotten comments from people like, oh, she should get her teeth fixed. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with my teeth. I love my gap. There are people who pay money to go and get gaps now, but I might have some work done because I do have an overbite, but I'm never going to get my gap closed. I love my gap and I embrace it, and I think it's beautiful. And I feel like if it ever went away, I don't feel like I would feel like myself. I don't feel like I would look like myself. I had this gap my entire life. My mom has a gap, my brother, everybody in my family So it's just like me. I don't have a problem with it. I actually love it. And it took me a long time. A long time to love my gap. Am I done? I feel like I need a little bit more highlight. High school was better. I was definitely like one of the popular kids, but also I knew what it was like to be an outsider, so I never picked on people or anything like that. That was a little bit more of the Laura Mercier translucent medium deep powder. A lot of people have been asking me like, what am I doing with my degree? I just left my job last year, so I still have my degree. I'm going to have my doctorate degree forever. It doesn't just like go away once you have it. If you're not using it, I can still practice physical therapy in the state of New York or any other state that I apply to work in. I can do contract work. I can work for myself. It's a great thing to have because I'm pretty sure influencing is probably not gonna last forever. Right now I'm at the height, I feel like, of my influencer career, and I'm gonna ride it until the wheels fall completely off of it. But it's great that I have that as a backup. I can teach, I can work. My degree allows for me to work pretty much anywhere. I can work with children, I can work with the elderly, I can work in private practice, I can work in a hospital, I can work for myself, I can do home care. I can do so much with my degree, and I have it, and I'm still paying off my student loans. It's not that I didn't like being a physical therapist. I loved being a physical therapist and I was great at it, but this is my dream. And I'm sorry if actually I'm not sorry. If to you, it might seem like influencing isn't a real job and that like I'm doing a disservice to the world by not using like my degree, that's your problem. And I know a lot of people do feel that way, but like, I don't. I served my community for 9 years as a physical therapist. I still have my degree, and if I choose to use it, I will, and I probably will in the future. I'm never gonna have a practice. That is something I know I don't want to do. I think people think it's really easy to start your own practice, and it's not. I mean, I could still do it if I wanted to, but I just don't want to. Y'all, I've been at the inception of 2 private practices, and it's just not something I ever want to do. I'm up to date with my license and my credits, and if that was a little passive aggressive, I meant it to be. Because I feel like everyone wants to tell you what you should be doing with your life, but only you know. You're being deterred from doing the things that you really want to do in life because of what other people think. That's no way to live. You're not living. You're living for other people. You're not living for you. And I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to like really get out there and try to do what I've always dreamed of, because I don't have any regrets. If I die today, I feel very happy. Even if I would have failed, I feel happy that I don't have to think what if, because that was what was plaguing me while I was working and doing this at the same time. I'm like, you know, what if I had the time to actually devote all my time to this? Like, I wonder what could happen. Like, how far could I go? How much of an impact could I make in an industry where not a lot of people look like me? Like, how? Now I know, and that makes me happy. Anywho, so I hope you guys have learned a little bit more about me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it wasn't a bore. I know it's kind of different, but I thought starting the year off, this was a cool way to like learn a few facts about me and to answer some of my frequently asked questions. Also, I'm just Black. I know a lot of people ask me like, are you Caribbean? Are you African? I'm sure I'm all of the above, but I do listen to a lot of Afro beats and a lot of soca music, especially in the morning where I do my butt first coffee dance while I make my Nespresso. I was born here. My parents are just Black. My grandparents are just Black. Pretty sure we are descendants of slaves, but I love Afro beats music, and then I love soca. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe. If you have any more questions, drop them down below in the description box. I do get a lot of questions about like getting started with blogging and how to start a blog and how to pitch to brands and all of the technical stuff that goes along with being an influencer. And if you're interested in that information, definitely head over to my Etsy shop, or I've created a lot of pitch templates to help influencers and bloggers pitch to brands, and also ebooks about how to become a blogger and, you know, what a blogger does and pretty much what apps I use on Instagram, because I get that question a lot. So if you're interested in anything that have to do with the business of influencing and blogging, head over to my Etsy shop and everything is there. Also, if you haven't checked out my blog, because some of you are new, I've been blogging since 2010. I have so many articles on travel, on beauty, on fashion, on sample sales, how to shop, where to shop. Definitely check out my blog, Fashion Steele NYC. Subscribe to my newsletter, stay up to date with everything going on there. I put out a magazine every year. It's usually a digital magazine. 2019 was the first year we printed the magazine. Next year, I don't know what we're doing, y'all. But if you're interested, I'll put a link down to Steele magazine below, or you can go to www.steelemag.com and read the latest digital issue there. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you start your year off right, following your dreams. And also, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your 2019. Bye, guys.